Welcome to the SCM Podcast, business advice and tips with expert guest interviews and with hostess Latrice Carter, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I have a treat for you all today. Today I have LaShaunda Hoffman. She is going to give you guys some tips and nuggets and promotional strategist advice for authors for you to utilize that will benefit you. So grab your pen and paper and take some notes and listen to my pre-recorded interview with LaShaunda Hoffman.
All right. Today's show is a special guest interview with LaShaunda Hoffman. LaShaunda, welcome to Sisters Creative Media Podcast.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And hello, social butterflies, if you're listening.
You are so welcome. So tell us about who LaShaunda Hoffman is and what was it that inspired you on the journey that you are wearing multiple hats as a promotion strategist, magazine publisher, podcaster, speaker, social butterfly, and an encourager?
Mm-hmm. A lot of hats.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say books. Books is what inspired me. I have loved books since I always say, in my mama's womb. I think she was reading to me. And I came out just loving books. Well, oh my gosh. In the 90s, I love romance novels. And in the 90s, we finally got Black romance. And I just wanted to help the Black romances because I love their books. And I decided I'm on maternity leave with my second child that I was going to start an online magazine. Yeah. I think that was the hormones kicking in. But I started a magazine in September of 2000 and never looked back. It's just been really crazy. That magazine has opened up so many doors for me. I met so many wonderful writers. I learned about the business. I learned about promotions. And then that opened up to the different hats that I did, becoming a promotion strategist, becoming a podcaster, doing speaking engagements, and encouraging writers. I'm always about encouraging writers because I am a writer. And I believe that we are here to help each other. And if we can't, then why? Why not? And so I started all about from books. My love from books turned it into a magazine. And that magazine went on to do different things. This year I guess it was February, just before we went down with COVID, I decided that my magazine journey was over. It was time to focus on my actual writing per se. Because I've been putting it off. I've been writing this one book for 5 years. It ain't happened yet. So I took a couple of things off my plate, and the magazine was one of them. It was a lot of work to put it together, and I was a one-man team. And so I decided it was time to go out good instead of mad. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So define for our listeners what a promotion strategist is. And what is the goal for you with your clients as their promotion strategist?
Okay, well, I published my first book, Building Online Relationships, one reader at a time. And it's 25 lessons that I learned to how to promote the magazine. So I took all the stuff that I did to promote the magazine and put it into a book. Well, as I said, I got another hat, and that was a promotion coach. And I like coaching, but I did a little bit more than coaching. So I said, I got to come up with another term because coaching is not everything that I do. And so the promotion strategist was it, because I do a little coaching. We do a little brainstorming. We strategize how to get your book in front of that reader. And so that's what a promotion strategist is. I have what I call virtual tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. So I say, let's have virtual tea because I'm an online girl. And most of the time, when I'm talking to people, it's usually online. So we meet on the phone, we get together, and we talk about your problems that you're having with promotion. Because most of the time, people are having problems. They don't know what to do, where to start, where to go, or who who is the reader. And so we sit down, like we talk about your problems. We try to see how to solve your problems. And then if I can, I give you 3 strategies that you can start implementing the next day. So that's a promotion tea with me, LaShaunda. And that's what I do with promotion strategies.
Okay. Awesome. So what is the 2 tips you find yourself constantly saying to new authors and seasoned authors?
Well, my big thing, if you follow me ever, is to have an email list. Your email list is your pot of gold. If you have an email list, when you put out a book, even if you got 10 people, hopefully 10 people are going to buy your book. When you don't have an email list, you have to start from scratch every time you try to promote anything, books, products, anything that you're trying to sell. So when you have an email list, you can get out there in front of people, and you know how many people you got in front of. And like with social media, you can have 5,000 followers, but that doesn't mean social media is going to show it to 5,000.
That's right.
If you got your own email list and you got 5,000 on there, hopefully those 5,000 will open that email. And if not, then you can see who didn't open up the email. The second tip I'm going to say is to know who your reader is. Even as a couple of seasoned people don't know who their reader is. You say, when I published my book, in the back of my head, my book was for writers. And then when I sat down and realized that most of the writers that I knew, they didn't need promotion help. They've been doing it for years, so they didn't need promotion help. So it wasn't for all writers. That's what people say. My book is for everybody. But your book can't be for everybody if you're trying to sell it to somebody. You have to know who your book is for and go forward with that. So if you write romance, okay, romance has a whole bunch of different subgenres. What part of romance do you do? Do you do romance suspense? Do you do a sweet romance? I put a post out the other day about who writes sweet romance, and I got a couple of people that wrote erotica, and I'm like, ooh, that's not sweet. They just, all I saw was romance, I think.
Yeah.
They didn't read that I said sweet romance. I was trying to see how many African Americans wrote sweet romance. I know a lot of white authors did, but I didn't know if any African Americans wrote it. And so you need to know who your audience is, because if I want sweet romance, I don't want hot, passionate sex in my book. Right. And you need to know that when you're attracting people, because if you're going to come to me, say, for instance, to LaShaunda to promote, does LaShaunda promote sweet romance? Does she promote erotica? Does she promote romantic suspense? You need to know what that promoter promotes, because then you want to get in front of that audience. If they don't promote what you write, then why waste your money with them? Most people are like, well, it's a reader, they'll read it. No, because that person's going to say, this ain't what we read. We read urban fiction. Why is she sending us romance? And they're going to flip through that screen and keep moving. So if you don't know who you write for, you're going to have a hard time promoting. Just will.
Absolutely.
Those are my 2 tips.
I like those tips. So can you help authors understand the key elements of promotion and engaging with their readers to grow their brand?
Engagement is very important. That's one element of promotion. So here's promotion. Most promotion is a commercial, basically. You turn on the TV, it's tons and tons of commercials. Most people don't like cable because they got to watch commercials. They don't want to watch commercials. They just want to go past that. But commercials are very important because it shows you what's out there. Maybe you're looking for a plumber. Somebody does a plumber commercial, then you're like, ooh, let me get him. Maybe you're looking for somebody who sells cars, and you find out, oh, okay, so I'm right next door to me. Let me go check them out. And it's the same way with books. We have so many books out here to choose from. So if you're not telling people that you have a book, guess who books they're going to buy? Those people who are telling you about them. Absolutely. And so most people write a book. I am very guilty of it because I wrote a book. I can promote anybody else's book. I did not know how shy I was until I wrote my book and it was my turn. And I was like, ooh, I am really shy, because you got to come out of your comfort zone and tell somebody about your book. And hopefully they say, oh, I like it, and they want it. And you're scared that they're going to say, oh, I don't want that. No, thank you. And then you got to know, and so that's the scary part. We are writers. We are into our own little introverted self. We don't want to be coming out asking nobody to do nothing. I get this all the time. I don't want to offend my readers. How can you offend them by telling them about your book?
Right.
Most people, if they're following, if someone takes the time to hit the follow button on any platform that you're on, even give you their email list, the email, they want to hear from you. They don't want to sign up for your list and don't hear from you, but twice, maybe every 2 years. They're going to be like, what happened? Who is this? Because they forgot they was on there. Same way with social media. You get on social media and you see a whole bunch of people that's on there all the time. You say, oh, that person go live every day. She get on my nerve. She know what she's doing.
That's right.
She knows that she got to get in front of her audience every day if that's what it takes, But your audience needs to know you. They need to know what you're about. They need to know if you're sincere. They need to know that you're going to be consistent. I don't want to buy a book from you and fall in love with your writing, then you don't never write again.
That's right. That's right.
I hear people tell me, LaShaunda, what happened to so-and-so? They ain't writing anymore. Boy, I got about 10 late books. I love them. What happened to them? A lot of writers retire. Now, after 10 books, yeah, but you got one book. That's it. I have one lady I met years ago. It probably was like a 600-page book. I think that she said she wasn't writing nothing ever again. But
wow.
That was one book, but it was so beautiful. I fell in love with the characters. You wanted to know more, and she has not written another book, and that was 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so, but she said she didn't want to write anymore. That was her masterpiece. She wasn't doing anything else. But in this time and age, writers are putting out 3 books a month, and so you got to compete with those people. When I first started the magazine, the writers put out 1 book a year. That was what we had. So every month I had different authors that sometimes I used to struggle to get 2 or 3 authors to be in the magazine because we didn't have that many.
Right.
Now I went to some awards page to go, and somebody sent me a message to go vote for me, and I went to look at who the people were. I didn't know none of them people on that list. And I felt bad, and then I said, girl, you can't keep up with everybody like you used to.
That's
Back in the day, I knew everybody. Now, I was like, who was that? But what I did was I said, okay, I took and copied all those names because I want to know who they are. I want to know if there's somebody that I'm interested in reading. If I meet somebody new, most of the times what gets me with people, if I don't know you, is your book cover. Your book cover and your blurb. I go on Twitter. I don't talk a lot on Twitter, but I probably get 2 or 3 books a week on Twitter because somebody is posting their book on Twitter. My book came out today. Here you go. And sometimes they include a link. Sometimes they don't, and I have to hunt it down. Include a link. Anytime you talk about your books, include a link.
Absolutely.
And most people don't, realize that engaging and promoting goes hand in hand. If you put something out there, somebody's going to come back and ask you about it. Oh, this is my new book. What they're going to do, they come back and say, well, when is it coming out, LaShaunda? Where can I get it, LaShaunda? How much is it? You put it out there and you never come back and respond. What happens? They move on to the next person.
They sure will.
So you got to put on your friendly writer hat and engage with your potential new readers.
Absolutely. So, sometimes we come across authors who want services for free. Mm-hmm. Do you think authors can gain exposure by just doing free platforms?
If you know how to do it right. I teach that to my clients. Yes, I do pay promotion, but a lot of people don't have promotion budgets. They start out fresh. They knew it's their first book. They don't have nothing. There are free places. Here's what I always tell my clients. There are free places, and then there are paid places. If they offer free stuff, when you make it with some money, come back and do the paid stuff. It's a joint effort. It's always a joint effort. When I did the magazine, to be in the magazine was free. If you wanted an ad in the magazine, then you had to pay for the ad. But to be inside the magazine, it was free. I do podcasts now, so that's free. There are so many opportunities out here that are free. you got to go find them. And again, like I said, you need to know if that's the right audience. Just because somebody got 30,000 followers does not mean that they have the audience for you. And so you have to do your homework if you're going to do free. If you're going to do paid too, do your homework first. Go and look and see if there's a platform that fits your brand. We're all about brand now. So you need to know if that's your brand. If they're going to fit your brand, do they fit your morals? Because sometimes people don't.
That's right.
You go on there and you looking at stuff and you be like, ooh, I don't know if I want to participate. I had somebody contacted me and they were talking about some stuff I didn't know.
Yes.
Do some research. Don't just say yes to the opportunity, because sometimes the opportunity can bite you in the butt. You come back later and people were like, oh, you go with her? You into that?
Yep.
And again, it's about you trying to build your readership, and readers look at everything that you do, what you vote on. I've had a bunch of people I had to delete because of the way they treated Obama. I was like, okay, you're the president. You're horrible. But that's how people are, so you have to make sure that you pay attention to who you are putting your name with, especially when it's free.
Yes.
All free is not good for you. So make sure you take time to vet it. Make sure that it has the readership that you want. It doesn't matter. They can have 200 people that come and read that, but that's 200 people who love what you write. They're going to hit the click button.
That's right.
It's not about how big it is. It's about how many people are into what you like, what you do. And you also want to make sure that you're in good company, because you can do a podcast with somebody and they might be somebody that wants to just run you down. That, oh, you write romance. I don't like romance. Why would you invite me on here so I can talk about you? And by that, and then you even can hit the delete button.
That's right.
And then they're going to talk about you more, but you have to be paid. If somebody invites you to their podcast, go listen to the podcast so you can understand if that's what you want to do. Go see if any of your other people have been on there. Your friends been on there. Sometimes it's a new place and they don't have a lot of stuff, but go and see if you hit off with the person who's in charge, because sometimes you won't. And there's nothing like having an interview with somebody who's rude to you.
That's right.
So,
That's very true. Very, very true. All righty. So what advice would you give authors when it comes to gaining brand exposure? And I know we just talked about brand exposure a little bit, but what advice do you offer authors so that they can gain brand exposure?
Again, know who you want to get in front of. Sometimes I tell my clients, sit down and make a list of your dream places that you want to be. Like they're like, well, I want to be on the cover of a magazine. Okay, well, who magazines?
Right.
Well, how do you got to get on there? I know when the Romantic Times used to be available, you had to pay to get on there. I didn't know that until, somebody else told me I had to pay like $5,000 to get on there. I was like, wow. But they on the cover. So, how can you get on the cover? Is that a free thing, or do you got to invest in it? Is there any podcasts that you want to be on? Are there any blogs that you want to be on? It's all about research. You do a lot of research when you're dealing with promotion, mainly because a lot of places are here today and gone tomorrow. I had somebody contact me and he wanted to be on the magazine. I was like, oh, you haven't heard? The magazine's closed. He's like, no. Because he's like, I've been waiting to get in the magazine for a long time. I was like, I'm sorry. But it's because stuff closes. You gotta maintain. You can have a whole list of stuff. I remember I had a whole list of book clubs, and them book clubs don't exist anymore. So, you gotta make that every year you're updating your list of contacts, because things happen. People change stuff. People move. Maybe your contacts for the editors at a review place don't exist anymore. So you always gotta update your contacts. You gotta make sure that everything is still fresh. And you got to make sure that fits your brand. It doesn't matter if, like I said before, you want to make sure it fits your brand, because one, you're going to be sending your crew over there to that. and then you're gonna be hoping that their crew come over to you. That's the whole thing about promotion is you're borrowing their fans for a little while, and hopefully if they like you, they'll stay. And most people don't think about that. So they got some rowdy, crazy fans, and you just on there because you just thought that would be some good publicity, and then they all come and join your mailing list. They ain't buying no books. They ain't on there, but they're sending you crazy emails and talking crazy on your Facebook page. Was that worth it?
Right. Absolutely. Now, I see a lot of authors utilizing Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Is that something that you would recommend to new authors? Because ads is really tricky. Because if you don't choose your right audience, it's like you paying for an ad for nothing.
Well, I've been trying to figure out the ads for a long time, and I took a class, and the light bulb came on. I was like, oh. I highly recommend to find somebody who's really good at the IG ads or Facebook ads and take a class. Invest in it because you're going to invest in some money. You spend nice money on Facebook. The thing that I didn't know about ads was that you don't run just one. And that's what I was doing. So he was like, you ain't gonna never meet nobody. You gotta do it. It's all about the numbers. And so you have to do a series of ads, get those numbers and see which ones work right, which ones don't. Then you delete those ads and start again. And nobody had ever said that in all the different trainings I had been to. And I was like, I'm just doing one little stinky ad. I'm spending, he's about now, you never going to reach anybody. So I was like, okay. So when people ask me about, I always say, take a class. Take as many classes as you can on Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and definitely if you're into, I just lost it, Amazon, take the Amazon class. I took a class on it. And it was really good class on Amazon ads. Again, it's all about the numbers. You can't do one ad and think that you're going to get a whole bunch of people, get in front of a whole bunch of people. But if you do 10 to 20 ads at one time, and I know you're thinking, oh my God, that's a lot. But if you put the price down, the numbers don't seem so crazy to you. You know, if you spending $5 a day, that's not too bad. If you spending $500 a day and you're not getting anything, then you're gonna be upset. You know, so you don't want to put your money into it if you don't know how to set them up and get them to work the way you want them to work.
Absolutely. They know about the Facebook ad classes. Thanks for that tip. So let our audience know what services you offer to authors.
Right now, I offer e-blasts, which is email marketing, and social media marketing to my clients. What else I do? I do virtual tea sessions, which is promotion strategy sessions. And I have a membership that you can go in and learn promotion on your own if you want to learn promotion on your own.
Okay, awesome. That's good.
So I'll give you those links if you want the links for that.
Yes, definitely send me those links. So what makes you stand out from your competitors that are doing just about the same thing you're doing?
We were talking about that offline, but I was telling you that my clients call me Coach Mommy because I'm on them. and out of love, but I do believe that for me, I'm more of a hand holder than most people are. Most people get your stuff and then they're gone. You know, I believe in you knowing what I'm going to do. And then I try to help you figure out what you need to do outside of me. Because just because you buy an ad doesn't mean that's going to be all that's going to sell for you. So if I take your ad, I put it out there, then I want you to take those links and share it with your community too. So it's double time versus just one person's doing it. Then I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do to get yourself out there. Because sometimes people think that, oh, I bought an ad, I'm going to sell 500 books. And that's not how it works. Ads are about introducing yourself to my community. So you're coming to the SoarMed community, you're introducing your book to my community. If they like it, they might hit the buy button. If they like it, they might put you in there to do their wish list. But there's no guarantee if you come to me, my 1,200 readers are going to say, yay, we want this book. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. We all be having nice money, but it doesn't really work that way. And when you go into buying promotion, you have to know that there's so much that a promotion can do. And one of the biggest things, like I tell my clients, is that if you're going to go to a new place and they have a nice list, you have three options. They can buy the book, they can join your mailing list, or they can do nothing. Mm-hmm. And so I give them two options, to buy and to join your mailing list, because you want to, like I said, you want to borrow that community. So if that community isn't ready to buy, if they join your mailing list, you can work your way up to getting them to buy. Whereas you pay for an ad, nobody buys anything, then the ad is done, you move on, and you're like, well, I didn't get nothing out of that. What did you do to bring them to your community? Mm-hmm. And so that you always, even if they say, okay, we're going to post a buy list, put your website on there. That brings people back to you. I always say when they ask for the website link, put your email list link instead of your website link. It doesn't matter. You're still coming back to your community, but you want that person to stop by your place, say, hey, I want to be a part of your community too. And a lot of people don't do that. They're just so they want to just put the buy link, and they don't want to. Oh, I don't need a website. Yes, you do. You do. If you don't have a website, then you need to have a landing page. You need something to bring them back to you, because everybody doesn't buy right then and there. So you got to keep sending them some more information about you so they can be ready to buy from you. And if you don't, then you just pay me for an ad and then you went on, and.
Absolutely. So what is the takeaway from today's interview that you like for authors to be able to walk away with?
Hopefully, if I've talked about it enough, that the email list is the most important tool that you have. That's yours. Mm-hmm. I say it all the time, a lot of authors are getting away from having websites that's specializing in social media, but that social media belongs to whoever platform it is. Mm-hmm. The email list is yours. It's yours. And I tell that all the time. When I first started SOAR-Mag, I had 16,000 people come the first year that I did SOAR-Mag. And in 2000, we weren't into email lists. We were into counters. So that's all I knew was 16,000 people came. And I always cry about it because we didn't have email lists back then. But can you imagine having an email list with 16,000 people?
Yes. Oh my goodness. That's a list I want. Okay.
And so I tell people from back then we didn't have email lists. So I can't be mad because I didn't have an email list, because we didn't have email lists. They didn't probably start email lists probably to maybe 2005, 2006 or 7, something like that. Yeah, 2007, I started doing they really started talking about email lists. But if you have your email list, you won't go broke. I put it that way. If I say this about restaurants, if restaurants had emails lists during COVID, they did wonderful. If you didn't have an email list, there was no way that you could tell your people who came to your restaurant to stop by that you're going to have curbside lunch, or you're going to have curbside dinner, because there was no way to talk to them unless you had their phone number. And how many people go to a restaurant and give their phone number? But they'll give their email list. I give two examples. Panera and Red Lobster, they pivoted during this COVID. Both of them did curbside meals, and they did family meals. If you got a family of 4, they had meals for families of 4. So if you can't think of nothing else when you get off of this, go look at email management systems, find one that fits into your budget, and start it. You start with one. Everybody starts with one. Nobody transfers over 5,000 names. You always start with one, and you work your way up. But if you don't have it, you will never be able to work your way up.
That's right. That's great. That's a great takeaway. So how can folks connect with you and find you on social media?
Well, they can go to my website, LaShaundaHoffman.com, LaShaundaHoffman.com. And then you can find, I think most of my contacts is on there, but I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, what else? Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I like TikTok. Under LaShaunda Hoffman, so you can find me that way.
All right. You have given a wealth of information that is so crucial to authors, new authors, aspiring authors. And thank you so much for this information today. I look forward to continuing to engage with you on social media. And who knows, we may have to partner up on something.
We should. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And I just want to say to the people who aren't selling books right now, what are you doing? Ask yourself that question. What are you doing right now? Right now, the world has totally changed for us for writing books and publishing them and promoting them. And so you got to sit down and decide what you're going to do to move forward. Are you going to be that person that says, well, I'm not going to do anything right now. I can't get outside. Are you going to be that person who makes the #1 best-selling list because they banging and they putting it out here, they letting everybody know about their books from their computer?
Absolutely. Media exposure. You got to move it. You got to get busy. You got to move around. And you can't sit on this. Right. And this is the time while everybody's at home because everybody's on their computer, everybody's on their phone, their tablet, laptop, you name it. Everybody's online.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not, I feel sorry for you because people out here making nice money, lots of nice money, selling their books, selling their products, selling time with them. I've done so many virtual teas during this COVID time that I've done since I started. I was like, wow. But everybody's at home. So what you doing, LaShaunda? Can we talk? You know? Sure. I'm at home. I'm talking too. So, you know, it's just don't, as I am a social butterfly. Social butterflies spread their wings. Everybody sees the beautiful wings. Flies sit on the wall. And what happens to a fly? Most time people swat them and move them out. Most people don't mess with social butterflies. They go and flip. Go, she's so pretty. She's so nice. Go be the social butterfly. Do not be the fly. You know, and you'll be surprised how many different doors open up when you decide that you want to do something different with your promotion. You know, I tell my clients all the time, do something different, something that you haven't done. Do something that scares you to death. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't like it, then you know, okay, I tried that, never. Years ago, I did not want to be on video. I am a podcast woman. I don't want to do no video. But my coach was like, I'm going to need you to do a video. I'm like, no. But I realized that things were changing. Video was becoming hot, and you either get on board or you get left behind. And I am about being on board the train. I'm not leaving me nowhere.
Absolutely.
Get on board the train. Get on board.
Get on board the promotion train. That's right. Thank you so much, LaShaunda. I appreciate you. And I look forward to many other adventures. And I'm trying to be like you.
No, don't be like me. Be like you. Do not have all these hats. You be crazy.
But you know what? I wear multiple hats right now, so it's like, oh my Lord, I gotta add to my team.
That's my dream. A team. Yay.
Yes, add to the team. All right. Well, you have a great evening. And until next time, I want you all to remember that media exposure is key. Brand exposure is going to be very important, but as you learned today, promotion is going to be key to the success of your book. Until next time, y'all be blessed.
Thanks for listening to the show today. Be sure to tune in each week to hear interviews from business experts in the industry. Follow SCM on your favorite streaming channel, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or Google. Don't forget to follow Sistas Creative Media on all social media platforms to learn more about us.